let's look into what we just did with our components. We created a component called cakes.vue and we registered it right here. And then we printed it out through our components, the subcomponents here called cakes.vue. And that's all whoopty-doopty, right? So this is called a local component, or we're registering our components locally because we're only using inside the scope of the app.vue. Now this is kind of one of the ways to do component registrations in Vue. We can either do locally or we can do globally. Locally means it only works within wherever you're putting it. So in our case, we can only print out cakes if we are doing it the same place where we're registering down here. So it's attached to each other, if you want to go that way. So if I did cakes in like home over here, it's not going to work because it's not registered over there. It's registered locally. Now the other way of doing it is doing it globally. And we haven't really looked into that, but basically instead of registering inside a component like app.vue here or home.vue or wherever you're creating it, we can also create it as a global one. So this is how they would do it. I am just going to take this. We're just going to look at this. I'm not going to actually do it. But here you can see it says vue.component, and this green stuff here between the brackets, the bracket apostrophes, that's kind of what we're doing here. We're giving it, assigning it a name so we can call it here. But they're doing it globally. And this part here, the vue.component, data functions and everything that we put into this would be, for example, here in our main. So we would be up here, type vue.components and, components, and then type in the rest or copy paste what we just got from here, right? And then we could do similar things like we just did with locally. But it's just two ways of doing it depending on what you're doing. If you know you're going to reuse something quite a lot of times, then register it globally. And if you're just going to use it inside a single component or something like this, then just do it locally. But again, it's really up to you and how you kind of like to work with your registrations of your components. But now you know there's two different ones, global and local components.